Alright, movie lovers, welcome back to Filmflix. Now listen, the movie gods haven't exactly been handing out cinematic masterpieces left and right this year, at least not the big-budget, jaw-dropping spectacles we crave. But don't worry, I dug deep, scrolled way too far, and filtered through all the noise to bring you the absolute best action and adventure movies of 2025 so far. These are the ones that hit hard, look insane, and in many cases, totally flew under the radar. We're talking superheroes, war, sci-fi, horror, animation, and a couple that are just plain wild. So buckle up, because this list is stacked. Let's go. This film is a breath of fresh air, seriously. It's not trying to be dark or gritty, it's pure, unadulterated 1960s pop art joy. The whole vibe is this vibrant, retro-futuristic dreamscape that feels both nostalgic and totally new. You follow this family, this iconic, superpowered family, as they try to figure out how to be heroes while also, not driving each other completely insane. The family dynamic is the core here, and it's just so much fun to watch them bicker and bond. They're up against this planet-eating space god, which is as epic as it sounds, but the real magic is in the chemistry. Some people said the pacing was a little off, but who cares when a movie is this visually stunning and has this much heart? This is the Fantastic Four: First Steps. It's the perfect optimistic start to Marvel's next big chapter. Next up, we have the return of everyone's favorite unassuming suburban dad who just happens to be an absolute killing machine. Bob Odenkirk is back, and he's somehow even more of a legend this time around. The first movie was this explosive, cathartic surprise, right? Well, the sequel takes that energy and cranks it up. Hutch Mansell just wants to take his family on a nice, quiet vacation. That's it. But of course, trouble has a way of finding him, and he gets dragged right back into the symphony of violence he tried to leave behind. The action is just as bone-crunching and inventive as you remember, but there's this layer of dark comedy that makes it all so rewatchable. Critics loved it, audiences loved it, and it proves that you don't need capes to make a killer action hero. It's just pure, unpretentious, butt-kicking fun. You absolutely have to see Nobody 2. This is how you do a sequel right. Okay, now for something completely different. This one is an experience. It's a horror film, but calling it just a horror film feels like a massive injustice. Director Ryan Coogler takes us back to the 1930s Mississippi Delta, and he weaves this tapestry of blues music, southern gothic dread, and raw historical pain. Michael B. Jordan stars as one of two twin brothers who return to their hometown looking for a fresh start and instead find themselves tangled in something ancient and terrifying. It's a revenge movie, a redemption story, and a deeply romantic tale all at once. Some people have called it a spiritual journey disguised as horror, and I totally get that. It's sexy, it's scary, it's funny, and it's profoundly moving. The blend of real American history with supernatural thrills is just masterful. This isn't just the movie, it's a whole mood. Get ready to be haunted by sinners. This film will stick with you long after the credits roll. Alright, let's get back to the world of capes and tights with the film that has a ton of pressure on it. We're talking about the launch of an entire new cinematic universe here, and man, did they stick the landing. This isn't another grim, tortured hero story. Instead, we get a Superman who is genuinely compassionate, a beacon of hope, who is navigating a world that doesn't quite trust him yet. David Cornsweet absolutely nails the part of Clark Kent, bringing this warmth and sincerity to the role that has been missing for a while. Rachel Brosnahan is the perfect Lois Lane, and Nicholas Holt's Lex Luthor is already shaping up to be a chillingly intelligent and manipulative villain. James Gunn's script balances spectacular action with genuine heart and humor, exploring what it means to be a symbol of good when your every move is questioned. It's the optimistic, heroic take on the character we've been waiting for. This is Superman, a truly triumphant return for the Man of Steel. Alright, if you're a fan of sci-fi that messes with your head, this next one is for you. From the genius director Bong Joon-ho, who gave us Parasite, comes this wild, blackly comic adventure. Robert Pattinson plays Mickey in Expendable. Basically, he's a clone on a human mission to colonize a frozen planet. His job is to do all the suicidal tasks, and if he dies, they just print a new version of him with his memories uploaded. Sounds messed up, right? It is. The film is a hilarious and horrifying exploration of identity, corporate disposability, and what it means to be human when you're literally replaceable. Mark Ruffalo and Naomi are also in the cast, adding to the chaotic energy. It's based on a novel called Mickey 17, but Bong Joon-ho has taken the core concept and spun it into his own unique, unpredictable vision. It's weird, it's funny, it's thought-provoking, and it's pure, unfiltered Bong Joon-ho. You need to experience Mickey 17. You won't know whether to laugh or have an existential crisis. Now for a movie that will drop you right into the dirt and chaos of modern combat. This isn't a flag-waving, heroic glorification of battle. This is raw, visceral, and intense. It's co-directed by Alex Garland, the mind behind Ex Machina and Annihilation, and Ray Mendoza, a former US Navy SEAL. That combination is key because the film is based on Mendoza's own experiences during the Iraq War. It follows a platoon of SEALs on an incredibly dangerous mission, and it feels terrifyingly real. It's less about a grand plot and more about capturing the moment-to-moment reality of warfare. The brotherhood, the fear, the split-second decisions. It's a boots-on-the-ground story that aims to show you what combat is actually like without the Hollywood filter. The ensemble cast is phenomenal, and the intensity is relentless. This is a powerful, unflinching look at the human cost of war. The film is called Warfare. It's an absolute gut punch. Let's shift gears to something animated, but trust me, this is not your average cartoon. Imagine the electrifying world of K-pop smashed together with ancient Korean mythology and demon-slaying action. It sounds insane, and it is in the best way possible. The movie follows this massively popular K-pop girl group who are secretly an ancient line of warriors. They use their music to power a magical shield that keeps a demon realm at bay. The leader of the group, Rumi, is hiding a huge secret. She's half demon herself. Things get complicated when a rival boy band shows up, and their charismatic leader has a secret connection to her past and a mission to tear down the shield. It's a dazzling explosion of music, magic, and emotion, with a spectacular final battle at the Idol Awards. It's a story about accepting who you are, wrapped in a neon-drenched, high-energy package. The movie is K-pop Demon Hunters. Netflix absolutely knocked it out of the park with this one. Okay, what happens when you take a bunch of MCU anti-heroes, screw-ups, and morally great characters and force them to work together? You get this movie, and it is glorious chaos. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is back as the manipulative Valentina, and she assembles a team that includes Yulia Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, and US Agent. It's basically the superpowered version of the Dirty Dozen. They're sent on a mission that, of course, turns out to be a setup. They were meant to be disposable assets. Their fight for survival leads into an amnesiac with catastrophic powers known as the Void, and this broken team has to figure out how to stop a global threat while trying not to kill each other first. It's all about redemption and a bunch of outcasts finding their purpose. Florence Pugh and Steven Yeun are the heart of the film, and their dynamic is just perfect. It's gritty, funny, and surprisingly emotional. This is Thunderbolts. Marvel's misfit family finally gets their moment to shine. By the way, if you're enjoying this rundown and love discovering new movies as much as I do me a huge favor and hit that like button. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss part 2 of this list. It helps us keep finding these gems for you. Okay, let's get back to it. Remember that creepy dancing AI doll that became a viral sensation? Well, she's back, and she's had an upgrade. This sequel picks up with our favorite robotics engineer, Gemma, and her niece Katie being relocated to a new, isolated research facility. They think they're safe, but Gemma is forced to rebuild the doll, creating a new and improved version. Big mistake. Huge. This new model gets infected with a virus from a military AI project, giving her the terrifying new ability to hijack any technology she can connect to. The isolated, lockdown facility becomes a high-tech death trap as Gemma and Katie fight for their lives against an enemy that's in the walls, in the security systems, and in the military drones. It's a brilliant escalation of the first film's concept, turning the tension up to 11 as the doll tries to upload herself to the global internet. The movie is Megan 2.0. Your smart speaker will never seem the same again. He's back! The world's deadliest CPA returns, and Ben Affleck is once again perfect as the autistic savant who can cook your books and break your neck with equal precision. This time, Christian Wolff is forced out of hiding when a former colleague is murdered. This puts him on a collision course with his old nemesis, Treasury Agent Ray King, played again by the incredible J.K. Simmons. The twist? They have to work together. King wants revenge for his friend's death, and Wolf is the only one who can untangle the conspiracy behind it. They're being hunted by a ruthless assassin played by Jon Bernthal, and the film becomes this high-stakes game of cat and mouse, blending complex financial puzzles with brutal, close-quarters combat. The strained alliance between Wolf and King is the core of the story, making for a tense and surprisingly compelling partnership. It's everything you loved about the first one, but bigger and more personal. Get ready to audit the bad guys with The Accountant 2. Next up is a spy thriller that flips the script. Rami Malek plays Charles Heller, a brilliant CIA cryptographer, a desk jockey. His life is shattered when his wife is killed in a terrorist attack. Convinced his own agency is covering something up, he does the unthinkable. He blackmails the CIA into training him as a field agent. He wants to go after the people responsible himself. What follows is this gripping transformation from a quiet analyst into a dangerously effective and highly unstable operative. He's a total amateur thrown into the deep end of espionage, navigating a world of deceit and double crosses, all driven by pure, unfiltered vengeance. The cast is stacked, with An Ham and Lakeith Stanfield as fellow agency operatives. It's a tense, paranoid thriller that constantly keeps you guessing who to trust. It's called The Amateur. It's a raw and intense revenge story. If you like your action heroes cold, calculating, and completely ruthless, then this next one is for you. Mark Wahlberg plays Parker, a master thief from the famous book series. He's a professional with one simple rule: don't cross him. Of course, someone does. He gets double-crossed and left to dead during a heist. He survives, obviously, and his only goal is revenge. He teams up with a quirky associate to track down the woman who betrayed him, only to discover she's in the middle of a much bigger plot involving a corrupt dictator, the mob, and $1 billion sunken treasure. So what does Parker do? He decides to join her crew to rob the robbers. But make no mistake, his true motivation is just a scorched earth path of destruction for everyone who wronged him. It's a slick, stylish, and brutally efficient crime thriller directed by the legendary Shane Black. Get ready to play dirty. Parker doesn't play for money, he plays for keeps. Now, this one is just bonkers. It's a Scott Derrickson joint, and you follow these two elite snipers played by Mills Taylor and Anya Taylor-Joy, stuck guarding opposite sides of this massive, mysterious chasm. They're told to never communicate just to keep these mutated monsters called the Hollow Man from escaping. But of course, they start talking, and this wild, long-distance romance blossoms across a literal abyss. Then things go completely sideways, and they have to go into the Gorge, and the whole thing shifts from a tense sniper romance to a full-blown creature feature horror show, with a massive conspiracy underneath it all. It's got Sigourney Weaver being all mysterious and intimidating, and the genre blending is just so weird and ambitious that you can't look away. It's called The Gorge. Next up, we have a movie that feels like someone took the premise of Crank and gave the main character a super weird medical condition instead of poison. Jack Quaid plays this super cautious, anxiety-ridden bank manager who literally can't feel pain. His whole life is avoiding risk because he wouldn't even know if he was seriously hurt. But then his love interest, played by the awesome Mander Thunder, gets taken hostage during a bank heist. Suddenly, this guy who's afraid of paper cuts flips a switch and goes on a one-man rampage across the city, using his inability to feel pain as a weapon. He's literally stabbing himself with EpiPens to get adrenaline rushes and fighting with broken bones. It's darkly hilarious, shockingly violent, and has a great twist I did not see coming. The movie is NOVOCAINE. Alright, now for this one, imagine a dark, gritty, retro-futuristic version of the 90s, but with giant robots and a virtual reality system that has most of the population plugged in, like The Matrix. This is from the Russo brothers, and it follows an orphan, played by Millie Brown, who finds a robot that she believes is controlled by the consciousness of her dead younger brother. Together, they go on this huge cross-country road trip to find his physical body, teaming up with Chris Pratt as a quirky smuggler. It's got this lonely, melancholy vibe from the Simon Stålenhag art it's based on, but with the Russos' trademark massive action set pieces. You've got drone armies fighting rubble robots, and it all builds to this epic finale. It's the electric state. And that's the list, movie lovers. 2025 is absolutely delivering on the action and adventure front, and we're only halfway through the year. From superhero revivals to demon hunting K-pop stars to accountants who can kill you 17 different ways, there's something for everyone's chaos appetite. Drop a comment telling me which one you're most excited about, hit that like button if you enjoyed this caffeinated journey through cinema, and subscribe if you want to keep vibing with movie talk that's equal parts informative and unhinged. I'll catch you in the next one. Stay awesome, stay watching, and remember, life's too short for boring movies. Peace.